this time. Well, we'll get the feedback.
What's going on, guys? Victor here. Brookie and I and the entire family, we are back in Panama City. This is actually our 5th time back here fishing with our really good friend Captain Joshua Sauls of Heritage Excursions. We're out here about 75 miles. Josh has a really incredible bottom fishery over here on the west coast. Panama City is known primarily for red snapper, but they also have a ton of big yellow edge grouper, snowy grouper, all these crazy species down here. And that's the appeal for me. When you're fishing really, really deep water like we're gonna be fishing today, 700, 800 feet, some of the tastiest fish in the Gulf of Mexico. So I'm gonna introduce you guys to the man, the myth, the legend over here. This right here, good guy, Captain Joshua Sauls. It's our 5th time fishing together, isn't it?
You know, we were talking this morning, it's been beautiful every time you've ever come, so you've been due for a little bit of a rocky day.
Yep. So to put a little context for you guys, so tomorrow is actually red snapper season opener. We fish with Josh every single year for red snapper season opener in Florida, which is a really regulated fish, so it's a super special fishery, but we might get blown out tomorrow.
Now, we might also catch some longtail sea bass. The spot we're on right now, I found a few years ago, and did pretty good on the longtail. So.
And of course, we can't forget, we got Trip in the back. We got first mate Trip. We're gonna do 2 styles of fishing. Josh has all these electric reels right here, and we're gonna drop these to the bottom, and you got 3 hooks on each. You got some big circle hooks. We're gonna put squid on them, sardine, whatever cut bait Josh has for the day. We're gonna have some of the family do the electric stuff, and then I brought some of my own jigging gear. These are the jigs we're gonna be fishing with. I got all different sizes and colors, but the most important thing is you need a really heavy jig. So something like this Mustad, 500 grams. You need something heavy to keep you vertical. Otherwise, your jig's gonna be floating way back behind the boat with the current.
Yeah, buddy. Fishing with the AI over here.
The robots are taking over, huh? I'm on bottom. I got him, Josh. I got him. You guys, first drop on the jig, hooked up. So I drop my jig to the bottom just like they do with the electric reels, and I just start jigging. Not sure what I got, but I got something. When you're in 800 feet of water like this, those fish don't have light down there. I just like knowing the fact that you're just jigging this obnoxious metal piece of lead, and something down there is willing to eat it. And pretty much the pitch black of night. So we're nearing the home stretch. I'm just trying to keep them far away from all these guys' lines, because you got to think everyone's got 3 hooks on, so that's a lot of possibility to get tangled. Longtail sea bass. Oh, that's a nice one.
Good one.
Flip them in. Woo! Now
That's the biggest one I've ever seen.
that's the biggest one I ever caught. So like I'm saying, picture 800 feet of water. Pitch black. This thing is living down there. Absolutely gorgeous. He's got these really long extensions of his dorsal fin. You see that? That's why they're called longtail sea bass. Look at this. His ventral fins have these really long streamers. These guys are absolutely delicious. Super white meat. And the other interesting thing, whenever you're catching these deep water fish, if you got, Jed, feel him. Feel how cold he is.
Chilly.
It's cold down there. You know, up here it might be 75 degrees on the surface, but down there it is cold. Look at his pupil is 3 to 4 times as big as ours. And all deep water fish have real big pupils to allow as much light of the little light that is down there into them so they can see. And then all I'm doing is just basically lifting the rod up and down, and every jig has a different action. So when I do this, some jigs will kind of bounce sideways, some will roll, It all depends on the size, but you're basically just imitating a wounded bait fish or squid or something, or it just might be a reaction bite.
You're on?
Yep.
Oi.
Oh, I pulled off. You can imagine it's tough to hook a fish when you got 800 feet of line out. You don't really have a direct connection with them. It's really easy to pull hooks, which I just did.
Put it in our pool.
There's a fish. It's feeling a lot like a longtail sea bass again. Feels very similar to the last fish. Come around this side trip. Okay, we're close. We got color of the fish. Oh, another nice one. Look at that thing. He's all blown up. Hey, we got the longtail sea bass spot. 4 people fishing bait. Real bait. And then instead, they want this stupid thing bouncing up and down there. They might not be hungry, but maybe this is just triggering a bite, like, you know, you're kind of pissing them off. They're just sitting down there enjoying their nice day, and then this thing's just bouncing down there, and they're like, huh, this is interesting. I'm gonna try to eat it.
No, that's the biggest one I've ever caught, I can tell you that.
So you guys see how his eyes are bulging and he looks almost like a fish attacked him? He just looks a little disformed. Even his guts are coming out of him. So down there, the pressure's a lot different. Fish have swim bladders, air bladders, and as they ascend naturally, they expel gases, right? To compensate for the pressure difference. When they're hooked and I'm bringing up faster they can do that, the gases in their body expands, pushes out his eyeballs, pushes out his organs. And that's why if you guys have ever wondered why your fish look crazy sometimes, it's a process called barotrauma. There's your science fact of the day. All right, guys, we made a little move. Tried the deep drop, but you know what? They weren't very hungry. Got those 2 fish on the jig. Picking up a little bit out of here. We're supposed to have a really sloppy day tomorrow. We might not even make it out, but we came in and we're gonna go and do the very classic Panama City bottom fishing. So your red grouper, vermillion snapper, triggerfish, red snapper, gag grouper, all the delicious bottom fish species. This is a cigar minnow, one of the baits we're gonna be fishing with. Got a big circle hook, and they got a special way to hook them through the tail right there. That way the fish can't rip it off the hook as easy. So this right here,
Do you want to remember?
chofer. If you're in Panama City, you call it a chofer, but down south, the proper way to say it is a pinfish.
I feel like it's fighting a little harder than the last one. You got something good? Ah, something tasty, I hope.
First drift, or first spot, we got ourselves a vermilion snapper and a bunch of white snapper, what are also known as porgies. And then this crazy looking little fish that Brooke caught. What? Pogies. Pogies are Menhaden, bunker.
We're about to pull up on a piece of live bottom right here. We're gonna try and catch some scamp, some red grouper, maybe some beeliners mixed in. And, it's a new spot, so we're just gonna have to pull up here and see how it goes. All right, guys, whenever you got a bait, go ahead.
I always got a bait, Josh.
All right, guys, so we are out here. We are fishing. We tried doing a little deep dropping earlier. Didn't have too much luck with that, so we came in a little shallower. We're in about 250 feet. We got the boys lined up. We got my mom and dad in the back. We got a mix of different baits. I'm using a chunk of mackerel here. Jed's got a live cigar minnow. Fisher, I think, has a live cigar minnow. Victor's jigging. We got some cut bait in the back. And we're just dropping down to the bottom.
Nice one, Dad.
There you go, Brooks. Good fish.
I got something on the jig. I got something decent on the jig. I can tell you what, guys, Trip is on top of it. This is a good mate. Every single person's bait or hook is always baited. He's on top of it. He's always one step ahead of you. Always a pleasure fishing with Josh and Trip. Nope.
Over you.
Put your rod down. Perfect. Brian, you don't feel me over there, do you? Oh no, my fish is right here. We should be good. It's a Jack Crevalle.
Really?
Yeah.
I ain't caught one in years.
Well, you know, Josh, I bring the best out in you. I can't escape the Jack Crevalles. Oh my goodness. I just love you guys so much I can't stay away from you. So I had to get everyone's line. Cut my line
his
for
jig
sure.
off. That'd be the first thing.
Well, we got not the best weather going on. It's starting to rain. I just hit bottom though, so let's see how long this takes. It has not been taking very long. Basically, as soon as your bait hits the water, Fisher's on. He's got a good fish. Go, Fisher, go! Here it comes. Oh, red snapper.
Pretty American red snapper, one day before season opens up. If only it was tomorrow. Fortunately, he's got to go back today.
So you guys see the fish that Trip's releasing? That's a red snapper. The Fisher's actually caught 2. Tomorrow or tonight at midnight, you can start keeping them. But right now, red snapper season's closed, so unfortunately, we gotta let them go. If you want to come and book a trip where you catch tons of red snapper with Josh and catch your limit, June 1st and basically all summer long, these guys crush it out here, get their limit every single day pretty much.
Victor, would you say these are optimal jigging conditions?
No. Say this is suboptimal for any type of fishing right here.
It's mids.
And of course, all you guys at home are probably going to be like, it's not that rough, it's not that windy. It's blowing consistently like 15 to 20 knots right now. As a fisherman, you always want to plan these really cool trips, right? And Josh has been such a good friend and invites us every single year to do this trip. Saves his first 2 days of snapper season for us. We always try to film him a good video. And for 5 years now, we've had really nice weather. We've always had amazing fishing. And it just so happens there's this crazy, I don't even know what this is. June 1st, we usually don't ever have weather like this that came in, and it's making it hard. It's kicking our ass today.
I got one. Oh my gosh. What am I doing on my left hip? I can't fish like that. Oh yeah. I got my biggest fish on of the day.
Scamp.
What'd you get,
Scamp
Jen?
grouper, Dennis.
Oh my god.
Oh, Brooke's getting worse. Sorry. Brooke's got a good fish. Real good fish.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Brooke, get him.
Oh my god.
Brooke got the copper belly.
This is whatever this is really big. I finally got him off the bottom. Wow. Oh my god. Come on, baby. Be a big grouper. That thing worked to be on the bottom.
It is? Yeah.
Good job, Dad. Don't worry, Jed. I'll catch him for you after this one.
What was this on? Cigar Mayo, Brooke?
No, I got that chunk of mackerel.
Oh, yeah? Big red snapper, huh?
No.
Yep.
Ugh. That thing kicked my butt.
Well, it's a giant, Brooke. It's a nice fish.
Oh, heavens.
Just a day, 2.
Look at this big jumbo red snapper. Unfortunately, red snapper season doesn't open until tomorrow. The plan was to fish tomorrow as well, but there's a storm coming, so I don't know if we'll be able to get out there, but this is a beautiful red snapper. It would have been absolutely delicious, but we're gonna let this guy go, and then someone else can catch him sometime this week maybe, or maybe the next time we come back we'll be able to catch him, but.
So you poke a little hole in him, and now he's going to be able to swim down freely. Otherwise, if you release a snapper that hasn't been vented, you hear it? See you later. There he goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
No, but this is definitely harder than using the auto reels, that's for sure.
The auto rod?
What did you say, Vic?
The auto rods?
Yeah.
That's bigger than your scamp grouper was.
Nice. Go.
Wow, nice one.
Let's go, boy.
All right, so this is a beautiful scamp grouper. These only have to be 16 inches to keep, so this guy is definitely a keeper. But these are one of the most delicious eaten fish out here. They got these beautiful yellow marks on their mouth and these green eyes. They're such a cool looking fish, and they're absolutely delicious. I haven't caught one yet. Judge just got this one, and I think 2 more. Fisher's got a scamp in the boat. My dad's got a scamp in the boat. So we're on the fish now.
That's my best fish of the day.
Your best fish of the day?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you handle it?
Well, if you want to take it, you can take it.
No, that's up to you.
You can take it.
No, I'm not trying to take your fish.
No, I mean, you can take it.
He's trying to give it to you.
Okay, got it. Whoa, good thing you did give it to me.
That was my best fish of the day, but...
All right, so if you guys have been watching for a while, you obviously know my dad would never give a fish up, but he recently had an accident playing pickleball. Do you want to tell him about that, Dad?
Well, I've been in therapy for 4 months. This is the first time I have fished in 4 months. My it's gone, huh, bro?
I got sharked.
Oh, you got sharked?
Yeah.
Yep, the sharks get the big ones. That was the biggest fish I had on today. But my therapist told me not to fish, and 4 months has passed, and I said, this is a big fishing trip for my whole family in Panama City. And he said, go, reel in the little ones, hand off the big ones. So that's what I did.
I went from no fish all day to 3 keepers back to back. Let's make it a 4th.
It's hard being that good.
Boring, it's my life. Damn. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
It's gonna be a red snapper. If I was a betting woman, I'd say this is a red snapper. Ooh! They sure do fight well, that's for sure.
You guys notice that that fish is fighting pretty much the whole way up. That's one thing you can kind of tell red snapper versus like muttons or mangroves or even grouper. They'll kind of start to float halfway up. Red snappers give it all they got the entire length of the water column.
I was really hoping that first one was going to be a big grouper since it fought so well, but it's just a big red snapper. This is the first one. Ah! They really fight all the way up. But that was the first one I caught of the day. And now I know this is going to be another one. And normally we'd be super excited, you know, but unfortunately we got to let them go. They are a fish that swims down really well when you release them, which is really nice. They swim back down to the bottom as fast as they can. Vic, do you have meat? Vic?
What?
I just got sharked.
Yeah, you did. Oh, what happened?
Oh no, you didn't have me.
No, I just got sharked. It just took, I don't know, 15 feet of line in a second and then broke it off. We'll never know what it was.
Pull up.
Yeah.
It's hard to fish.
Let me just get out of
This is
here.
gonna be my first fish on bait all day. I don't care what it is. I love bottom fishing because all bottom fish do not like to leave their little home down there, so they give it all they got from the get-go. And it's just like tug of war. Oh no, mine just pulled. And you got sharks, huh? I wonder if they just ate my fish too.
It got sharked. It got sharked. It wasn't that big before. It was a nice fish, but it wasn't that big. Ate the hook off of that one, ate the hook off of this one.
Down by us, we call them porgies. They call them white snapper or pogies up here, but we have these down by us, but we don't have the numbers that they do. They seem to have tons and tons. Every single time I see Josh goes out, they come back with like a dozen of these things. Real pretty fish, got a bunch of blues and purples and pinks, real cool looking, you know. Very similar to snapper meat, just real white, flaky, and delicious. You know why I like this type of fishing? Because every single person on the boat has a rod in their hand and they can do it. It's not like trolling or something where you're waiting on a bite, but everyone's involved and physically doing something the whole time. And every single drop, you don't know what you're gonna catch, whether it's gonna be a grouper, porgy. I personally love to actively fish, and I can tell like the whole family likes to have a rod in their hand. When you have a rod in your hand and you're one-on-one with the fish, it's just that much more special, and you get to feel the bite, you get to set the hook yourself.
Josh, did you name your charters yourself?
When we were on our way to South Florida to buy our first charter boat, we couldn't figure out, what to call the company, and we knew we wanted to name it something that, represented where we came from, and I think I told my wife I want something that proves our heritage, and thus Heritage Excursions was born.
Wow.
And then we decided to name each of the boats after a family member or something like that. So this boat, for example, is named the Captain Cleve. Cleve was my great uncle, got my dad started, and many others. Always really looked up to him after my dad passed. And then our first tour boat we bought was the Captain Riley. And after my dad passed away, Riley really took me in when I worked on oilfield boats. Taught me a lot, looked after me for several years, and he's no longer with us. We have one named after my mom, one named after my partner's mom, and one named after my partner's grandfather, Stormin Norman. So we've been fishing right here in Panama City since 1890. It's as far back as I've been able to trace it. So we've always been here making a living on the water, and I feel like there's only a few honest livings left in the world, and even they're getting corrupt. You're supposed to be able to hunt, fish, and farm. Most honest ways to make a living. And I just really appreciate that my family's done that for so long. It's hard to find that anymore.
Bit.
It's darker.
Oh, I'm on. Fish on. Oh, bro.
Love it.
Oh, it's a big one. I think it's a shark.
Aww, it's a cute scamp.
Yeah, it's on the cooler back.
Alright, little scamp. We're gonna have to go measure this guy. I don't think he's gonna be 16 inches. I'm gonna say 13. He gets to live another day. It's too small. So cute.
I got my first scamp of the day, and I also got Jed. Get that in the boat before he disappears.
Yeah.
That's a keeper right there. Not only are they extremely pretty, this fish, out of all the fish we've ever eaten, you want to talk about bloodline, this fish has basically no bloodline, and that's why it's so good. Freezes amazing. This is a fish you really give to your loved ones. It's a really good, high quality fish right here. All right, check out the cooler, guys. We gave you a little, while we got daylight, because by the time we get in, it's probably gonna be a little dark. Look at that. I see nothing but delicious meals in here. This is our longtail sea bass from earlier. I only caught one scamp grouper, but...
Is that yours, Mike?
What, the little fish? You're making fun of me?
Yeah.
No, that's not mine, but we got a bunch of scamp grouper. Look at this thing right here. Vermillion snapper.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Brooke says I caught this little guy. I don't think I did. And then this right here, I'm really excited. Ryan wasn't too excited when he caught this, Brooke's dad. But this is a really delicious fish, triggerfish. I wish we had more of them that size down by us, but we don't. All in all, great day. The whole family had fun. We had really tough conditions, couldn't really do what we wanted to do half the day because the weather was just not good. It was raining, couldn't film, couldn't go to where we wanted to. It got really rough, but you got to play the cards you're dealt. And this is the cards we were dealt today, and we had a good day in my eyes. So if you guys see, we're in a very familiar kitchen, still in Panama City, and this is actually Josh's mom's house. So if you guys remember last year, Simeon cooked us up a really delicious crab and corn chowder, but this year I get to cook for the family. So what I'm gonna do is make a really delicious like creamy Cajun pasta. So I got this huge stock pot right here, gonna go in with some olive oil. And we're gonna do an entire stick of butter as well, because we're cooking for 15 people here tonight. We got the Holy Trinity. I got bell peppers, onions, celery. I got orange, yellow, red bell pepper in here, and we're gonna go into the grease right now. I'm just gonna coat all the vegetables and make sure nothing's sticking, make sure everything is coated in that olive oil and butter. A little fish. Excited?
Yeah. Smelling pretty good already.
So if you guys come take a look here, while that's going outside, Josh had a bunch of vermilion snapper actually vacuum sealed, and that's what we're gonna eat tonight. I would have loved to eat in red snapper, but like you guys saw, red snapper season's not open, so this is the next best thing, and I will not turn my nose up to some vermilion snapper, and we're gonna keep it real simple and basically just blacken these fish. And I'm not gonna be shy. Go pretty heavy with this blackened seasoning, and we're gonna flip the fish and basically do the exact same thing on the other side. We're gonna work on a crab meat topping. So we're gonna do a creamy, delicious Cajun pasta with all those peppers and onions, vermilion snapper blackened, and then I know Josh, one of his favorite things is like an imperial style grouper dish. So he loves lump crab meat, so we're gonna do a delicious crab meat topping for him. 3 half sticks of butter, because we're not scared of butter around here. Tell me this doesn't smell amazing. Got the butter going. I'm gonna reduce the heat a little bit. I got a bunch of shallots. We're gonna go in with some shallots. I'm gonna go in with some minced garlic. Shallots cook down. We're just gonna wake that garlic up a little bit, release some of that aroma, let it release into that butter. I want this topping to be a little bit thick, so I'm gonna make a little roux. I'm gonna go in with like this much flour to make it thick, thicken it up. You gotta constantly stir, otherwise your flour will burn. You guys don't wanna know. That's 3,000 calories in this bottle, but it's worth every single spoonful. It's gonna be delicious. So heavy cream going in. I'm gonna add a lot of black pepper, generous amount of Old Bay, because you can't cook anything crabby without Old Bay. I'm gonna add a whole stick of cream cheese in here. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice and thick. Now for the good part, look at this, lump crab meat. So I don't want this to fall apart. I want it to still kind of have some texture. So that's why I put it in at the end. And kind of just, you know, fold it into this. Just lightly break this apart. And you're basically just heating the crab through. You know, this is already cooked. You don't need to cook it anymore. And then we got to add something healthy in there. So going in with the scallion. Come on, man. That's good. I let Dennis try it without the crab in it. It's 10 times better with the crab in it. Just like the chunks of crab itself, but then the crab and all the juices gets released into that. This is gonna be amazing. I wanted to make this ahead of time, so it's done. It doesn't need to cook anymore, nothing. It's perfect. I'm just gonna put the lid on it, leave it on a low heat, and then when it comes time to serve it, we'll reheat it through, and we're gonna go back outside and work on that pasta. Onions, peppers, all that is cooked. I'm also gonna do some asparagus in here, as well as the rest of our garlic from inside. Mix this through. I don't like soggy asparagus, so kind of added it towards the end because you don't want to overcook this, you know? Full can of diced tomatoes going in. Cooking for 15 people, and there's nothing worse than a dry pasta, so we got to build up our volume for our sauce. So we're gonna do this entire thing of chicken stock and also kind of let it reduce down. Lots of paprika. You can't do Cajun food without paprika. Garlic powder. Generous amount of black pepper as well. And you can't go wrong with more of Chef Paul's blackened seasoning. We're gonna do a whole bunch of parsley as well, chopped up. So I'm gonna reduce the heat a little bit. All my veggies are cooked. That sauce is pretty much incorporated. Now we're gonna thicken it up with some heavy cream. Dennis is looking a little skinny, so I'm gonna add those extra calories in there. Most amount of people I've cooked for, I think the black tip barbecue I had in our backyard might have been 15 to 20. I think we got 15 people here tonight. Cooking for a lot of people is not hard, as long as you got the right tools. You got a nice outdoor kitchen like this. Parmesan's pretty salty, so we'll see how salty it ends up. It's also, this Parmesan's gonna make it nice and thick as well. A good chef and a good guest always cleans up too, so let's put some stuff away. Big flat top grill so you can cook fish for tons of people. And we blacken. And I have this pretty dang hot because you really want to sear that outside. Get some nice golden crust on there.
Backyard grillables.
Amazing. I was just saying how we would love to cook for so many people, but we can't.
We need one of these.
Yeah.
We need this.
This is
We need one of these.
incredible. Okay, so we're gonna flip our fish now. And vermilion snapper is a little bit more on the delicate side, so try and be pretty careful with the flips. And that's not burnt, that's blackened. That's flavor. Oh, yes I would. Uh-huh. You guys ready?
I'm always ready.
Let's go. I want to explain to you guys what we got, all right? So you got a creamy Cajun pasta. I made a crab meat topping to put on top of your fish, and you got blackened vermilion snapper. So we'll make the first plate right here. Gorgeous. Get some blackened fish. And then the crab meat topping right here. There you go.
Oh, you fixed me a
Oh,
plate?
of course.
Oh, man.
Here you go, babe.
Wow. Now that is a plate. Look at that. Gorgeous. We got the blackened fresh fish with a beautiful crab meat topping over some pasta. I can't wait to try it. Everyone's sitting down and enjoying. I'm gonna join the table. I'm sure it's gonna be absolutely delicious.
All right, and a plate for the best cameraman I know.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
You've done it again, because I am not a pasta eater.
No?
This is delicious.
A lot of good flavors there.
If you look down the table and you see all these people, it's hard to explain
the kind of feeling this is. I don't think a lot of people get to meet around and do this, but fishing is one of those things that kind of, it's like a catalyst, and you start to meet people through it and build the friendships. It's something else.
Wow. You better drop the mic with that one.
He put tears in Victor's eyes with that one.
Yeah.
I think Victor's tearing up, man.
That was nice. That was heartfelt.
Victor's been trying to point at the camera and be like, Fisher, say something. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to catch fish here, but I was like, after that, I was like, a job well done from everyone involved, like Trip and Josh and everybody else. Yeah, I could finally sit here and be like, yep, it all came together.
So every year I get on my little high horse here and I talk about how it's not just about the fishing, it's not just about catching, it's about spending time with your friends and your family and the people you appreciate. And this year's a really good example of that. I don't care how good you are, how fast your boat is, how nice your tackle is, or what you know, eventually you're gonna have a tough day. And I've had 5 years of really good weather and really good days with some of these people, and 3 years with all of them. And we've always done something epic. Well, this year, it was my tough day. We covered 210 miles of water, burned 250 gallons of gas almost, and we didn't come back with a whole lot. And we tried everything in the book. We battled weather, we battled an engine problem, we battled high current, and then we battled sharks. And I was up there about ready to pull my hair out, but these guys were all smiling, cutting up, through the weather, through the rain, and they never got upset. And here we are tonight eating together. And I told Victor today, I said, I feel like this was a waste of time. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, but we got to see you. And that's what it's about. It's not about what you catch. It's about who you're here with and what you're doing with it.
You're gonna catch fish. This was just an odd day. We normally come back with a cooler full.
I just wanted to say something after Josh said that. Like, he's used to filling the boat with fish, and we have plenty of fish to bring home for multiple family dinners. And like, even if we had enough fish for one family dinner, you know, like, we have plenty of fish. We caught plenty of fish. We had an amazing time. He's a little bit tough on himself. Every single time we come here, we have an amazing time. I mean, just like this table of people enjoying dinner, like, this is my favorite trip of the year because I get to bring my family and then enjoy it with all these people. So he's just being hard on himself. We still caught plenty of fish. We had an amazing time. We're gonna bring fish home. We didn't get to enjoy any of the scamp grouper yet, so we're gonna bring that home and probably have a nice family dinner this weekend. So all in all, an amazing trip. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Josh.
Glad to have you.
So check this out. Every single time we come to Panama City, we go to a cool brewery. We went to a taco joint last night called El Weirdo Taco. Panama City's got some amazing food, and this is one of Josh's friends' company they started called Fat and Weird Cookie, which you could order online. And they got some new flavors we get to try. What you got, Wendell? Look at that thing. You like it? Oh yeah.
We're all different.
It's the nicest cookie I've ever seen.